Well, to start with, if you look at your career, you've got to see where your foundation is. And actually, my foundation started in Alabama, where I had the opportunity to be a leader, understand what challenges are. And obviously that was exacerbated and or very much supported going to West Point, which I think is the best leadership laboratory in the world, where you learn that it's not about you, it's about the team. I remember when I went to Harvard Business School and I had the opportunity to run for section president. The training that I received in the Army, I had 5 other people that were running for this position, and I was the 3rd person to speak. And based on my Army training, I just had, I was 24, 25 years old. I just had 150 people working for me. And my classmates actually gave me a standing ovation when I finished my speech, or I should say my talk. So it really goes back to that leadership. And then getting to the Pentagon and just seeing how policy is made in defense. I was only a captain, but I got to observe that. And when I was at Harvard, I had taken a course in commercial real estate, and I just really fell in love with it. But working at JLL, I started working in development, and then I saw an opportunity with the public real estate, federal, state, and local governments and colleges and universities, helping them run their real estate. And I built that business up into a significant part of our company. So you talk about corporate boards and the opportunity to do that. And I'm on a lot of boards. One that's very, very important to me is USAA. Herman Bulls, my wife for 42 years. I think successful people need grounding. And believe me, she had the ability to ground me very, very effectively, I should say. She went to Virginia State University. She was one of the first women in the Army back then. She had a fabulous career in the Army. We went together to Korea. We came back. We were both selected to go to graduate school. I was at Harvard Business School. She went to Tufts. After that, we went to the military academy at West Point, where I taught finance and economics, and Iris was an admissions officer. Then we came here to Washington. I worked in the Pentagon, and Iris that year worked on the Bush-Quell Inaugural Committee. And later, she ended up being a presidential appointee. She was the number 2 person for personnel for the entire Army. And we're very proud just this year, based on her 42 years of federal service, and this doesn't happen very often, the Pentagon created the Iris Burton Bulls Fellowship, which is for ROTC cadets who are studying language, and they get more immersive training as well as coming to Washington to meet with senior officials.
As a lot of folks know, he went to West Point, and he was a graduate of West Point. Myself and my youngest brother, we ended up going to West Point at the same time. And something that they had at West Point was something called winter intercession. And during this time, you get classes that are, they don't go towards your academic grade so much, but it's like just useful classes like personal finance and stuff like that. As soon as I get to the door, one of my classmates goes, "Hey, Herman, your dad's our instructor." And so I walk in the classroom, the bell's getting ready to go off. I'm like looking around for a seat in the back, and he must have had this plan because he goes, "Cadet Bulls, good to see you. There's a seat right here in the front for you." So I sneak to the front of the class and sit down in the seat because he's a colonel in the Army. Just yes, sir. And you carry on. And so I sit down right there, and, the bell's getting a ring. And of course, again, this is intercession. You don't bring pen, paper, and stuff. This class doesn't count for a grade. So I'm hit my buddies behind me "Hey, can I borrow a piece of paper? Hey, can I borrow a pencil or something like that?" And he sees me doing this and he goes, "Cadet Bulls, what's the matter? Did your mommy not pack your bag for you this morning?" Everyone in the class got a good chuckle. I got a good chuckle / feeling of embarrassment out of it. He's achieved so much, and he's a big believer. He talks about the difference between networking and connecting, and networking is transactional, then connecting is where you do stuff for someone just because it's the right thing to do. Being recognized right here today, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing, and it really reemphasizes to me, to my brothers, to our spouses, to his grandkids that, hey, you can work hard. It can seem like the cards are stacked against you, but if you do what you know is right and you go about your work in an intelligent manner, hey, great things can happen to you too. So it's amazing to see him getting this opportunity.
Yeah, if you think about who are the people that made a big impact on my life, I'm going to start with my mom. I lost my wife, and economics weren't an issue. For her, totally different situation. Pregnant with 6 kids and no education. And how do you come back from that? And by the way, 6 of those 7 kids finished college. Buddy Moore, the football coach at Coffee High School, who was also the adjutant general for the state of Alabama. And then Joe Anderson, West Point graduate, probably the second Black to be on the board at West Point.
When I was there were very few African-American cadets and no staff and faculty. So as he came along in the mid-'70s, I had gone back as a member of the staff and faculty. And then beyond that, after his graduation, we started the diversity and inclusion initiative at the academy, and that moved that a long way, both in terms of recruiting and acquiring staff and faculty and the number of cadets. And so that's one area. I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate Herman on being inducted into the Alabama Business Hall of Fame. He has been a very successful businessman himself, and a number of individuals that he has mentored have continued along those lines. And thanks to Herman, he's opened a lot of doors and created opportunities along the way, as well as demonstrating tremendous business acumen for himself.
So anytime I'm out somewhere and I hear this song, A Sweet Home Alabama, I perk up, I get very, very proud. And what Alabama means to me, it's opportunity, perseverance, challenge, all these things in life that we must face. And I didn't know it at the time. I looked back on this about 20 years ago and said, what is it that has made this salmon have the ability to swim upstream? And I think it has been the ability to relate to people. And that's what I learned in Alabama.